A friend of mine has been asking me if he should switch his entire website over to microservices that are serverless on Amazon Lambdas. What do you guys think about that? Is it a good idea or a bad idea?
Well, is he cheap? Is he cheap? Because if he is, then that's probably going to be the best way to go.
I think his bosses are cheap.
Bosses are often cheap, and Lambda is great for that because of the nature. I mean, what's the rate? It's something like 1 cent for every million executions past the first 3 million executions. So you can execute a whole bunch of stuff, and it's infinitely scalable. If cost is a factor, I'd definitely go with that.
Yeah, but also you have to consider that Lambda functions, they can only be executed like asynchronously. They don't sit there and wait for web requests. So if you need a web server, like a website, then it has to be a server that will be there all the time and listen for requests. So not every task type is ready for Lambdas. Background stuff and processing stuff, maybe yes, but websites, probably not.
Yeah. Is the problem with that because of the startup time on a Java Lambda in particular, or just in Lambdas in general?
Well, Java has the slowest, the biggest startup time. So of course it is a problem there. But also, I mean, if you have a site, and you need to like have a DNS name that responds to some requests coming to that DNS IP address, you have that IP address to be available somewhere. And Lambda doesn't give you IP addresses. Lambda doesn't give you a server. You need a server that will probably send the request to Lambda, and that will work. But you first of all need a server, which probably costs some money, which will probably be bigger money than you pay for 1 million Lambda requests.
Well, depending. I mean, yeah, you would need the server to send some requests in, but the thing about Lambda is it's tied to the AWS infrastructure. So if you were to set up an API gateway, you've got a RESTful webhook to fire these off. You could put notifications, and they could fire off of queue messages. They could fire off of things coming into your S3 storage. So there are ways to build your full application and get around that. But again, I come down to the fact that there's a matter of cost that goes into it, and also the type of work too. If you've got a worker application, Lambdas might be a great idea for taking work off of a queue, but if each working job has a potential to go beyond 5 minutes, then Lambda just plain doesn't work right there because of the execution limit.
So what if he had a website that was something like Angular, and then he was using the API gateway as the backend? Would that be a better suited type of conversion?
Yeah, potentially.
Depends.
One thing I've heard about problems is cost. Like, say it's being slammed and has tons and tons of traffic. If you were to do that kind of situation, would Lambda actually be any cheaper then at that point, or maybe even cost more than a traditional server?
It depends upon how many executions you have and how fine-grained your microservices are and how the cost is. So it really depends. You need to do a good site analysis of your application and figure that out. There's no real clear solution, but generally speaking, I think there's nothing wrong with Lambda.
Yeah, and I guess probably nobody yet tried to do the setup that you described. We still have to wait for somebody to try it first, then decide.
Yeah, I did hear an example of somebody that tried to do it on something that was thousands of requests per minute, and they said that it got for them extremely expensive, and they could have just built out servers at that point. But I don't have the hard numbers. It was just kind of a rumor. But yeah, for any kind of small things or things that are idle very often, seems like it's a winner.
Well, good luck to your friend. Hopefully he gets a good site.